It's April the 29th, 2014. This is 508, a show about Worcester. And this is WCW, Community Radio for Worcester, Massachusetts on 91.3 FM. Let's go be on the radio.
We will follow this legislation when Governor Peter Shumlin signs what he's expected to do very soon against around the labeling of GMO products.
Hi. Nicole Belanger, Sumi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And this is the studio of WCW, huh? Nicole has to start doing a radio show. Hold on.
Alright, so we go on in 1 minute.
Literally? Is there a countdown thing?
iTunes, yep.
How do you
Up
know?
here.
Oh, there, wait, there
Oh
it
yeah,
is.
on the minute.
49. There's like a little LED countdown thing. 15 seconds?
50.
50.
49. 48.
Are we allowed to have silence on the radio? People always talk about you're not supposed to have silence. Can we have silence on this episode? Not the whole thing, just a little bit.
Yes, you can have silence on this
This is
radio.
going to be an exciting episode.
It's going to be great.
Okay.
We can do it in homage to the Quakers.
Wonderful.
Little
Wonderful.
silence.
It's drive time, by the way.
That's right.
There's got to be some kind of peak listenership happening right now. We have a microphone. I have a headset. There's Johnny Cash. We're just wrapping up. I think we just wrapped up Democracy Now, and now we're.
You go to the Modern Lovers. And T
You can
minus
listen to.
5, 4, 3, 2. 1.
Wait, that was the beginning of your show.
That was it.
So what?
Climax.
What can you guys tell me about WCW?
Well, WCW, I got to learn a lot about the history of the station last fall because it was the 40th anniversary, and there were all kinds of fascinating people coming and going, talking about the history of the station. It started over at Clark, 1960-something. It went, you'll find this interesting, Mike. It went through the electrical wires throughout the buildings. It wasn't actually through FM.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was like a hardwired radio.
It was yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yep. So it started there, Clark, in some dorm, one particular dorm, and then some really forward-thinking Clark students went to apply for a license from the FCC and got one. And sort of, as they worked their license, they made it so that it was an independent entity, so that it could exist for the community. Certainly Clark had a part to do with starting it, but sort of continue to exist without Clark's affiliation.
According to the Wikipedia page, they also had some sort of giant falling out with Clark at some point.
Oh, I didn't hear I think, the revisionist history that happens, there may have been a little smoothing over of that detail in the tumultuous 1970 or
It seemed like the whole history was a series of fallings out, and yet it survives. It's as concrete as this little doodad.
Yeah, WCUW owns this building, 910 Main Street, rents it out next door, part of it to the falafel shop.
Fantastic
pizza.
Great place.
Yeah.
Literally fantastic pizza.
It is.
And how long have you been involved with the station?
I've been involved since about August of 2013.
Okay.
I heard a PSA on the radio that they were looking for people to put public service announcements in between Democracy Now! And other recorded programs, and I wanted to figure out how to get involved. I just moved back to the city, and it seemed like a good way to plug in. And I've always really admired this place because it's, not many places like this in the world, or especially in a place like Worcester, or in the world in general. So I'm going to say a quick word on the radio.
Okay.
So,
All right, I'm going to put my headphone on just a second.
hello, you're listening to 91.3 WCUW here in Worcester. My name is Nicole, and I'm going to be with you from 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock here on the drive. And I've got a special guest with me today. My friend Mike Benedetti is going to, he's actually videotaping his podcast and TV show 508 as I speak.
This is so adorable. We're recording a podcast and community television and community radio all at the same time. This is some sort of geek trifecta.
Mike, I'm really glad we could share this moment together. We go way back in community media history, so it's a good thing. Yeah, so stay tuned to hear a little bit more about Mike and his podcast and other community efforts and a little bit of Led Zeppelin history, if we're lucky enough. Mike's brought something to share with us in a little while.
We will be getting the lead out.
So stay tuned. Hope you're able to stick around. That was just the Modern Lovers with the song I Want to Sleep in Your Arms. And next up, we're going to play a song by the band The Wcuw, which is the band that Bjork, if you're familiar with her, was in prior to going solo. So want to give a shout out to Sumi, my production assistant here, who's helping out. And yeah, here's The Wcuw.
Oh, and this is something I totally have to find out. Wait, so how do you actually play the show? Is it through iTunes? It is! That's so awesome.
Do it.
That's so awesome.
Got some records, though. We've got tape player, we've got record players. This place is really decked out.
So how did you, what is the process of getting involved? Because I feel like a lot of people, there you go, just moving right over here. I feel like a lot of people, you watch Channel 13 in Worcester and you say to yourself, I should be on this television show. I could do a television show. You read the Telegram and Gazette and you say, I could write record reviews for them or whatever. You listen to WCW and you say, I could be on the radio. I think everybody has that experience once or twice of feeling that way. But then what is the process of going from that impulse to making it a reality?
Yeah, so that's sort of the aim and mission of this place, is to help people get their own shows and to be to have a voice of Worcester. You know, it's been around for 40 years. So for me, I started volunteering here, and I was just working on a production, and Troy Tyree, the director here, asked me if I wanted to have a show, and I was like, hadn't thought about it. I had years ago, before, when there was a different person in the helm here.
I remember you talking about it all the time back in the day.
Yeah, my friend Cindy and I, we did an internship here with Captain PJ. Do you know Captain PJ, Mike?
I do know Captain PJ.
You do know Captain PJ. That was quite an adventure. We had a good time. It was short-lived, but it was a unique Worcester experience. If anyone out there, and I'm sure many of you know Captain PJ, you'll understand why it was such a great introduction to this station here.
That's great. So what is the normal path that somebody would take to get a show?
Yeah, there is you could either call with a radio idea for a radio show. So, there's a lot of music that happens, sort of genre based, there's a couple hour block in the afternoon that's Spanish language music, and then so you could give a call or go online. There's a form you can fill out with your idea for a show, and Troy will give you a call and be like, so tell me more about your idea. And what I did was I just did a trial to see if it felt to me like it was going to work, and it felt like to them.
To see if there was a radio chemistry.
Yeah, exactly. To see if bubbles were coming up in the test tube, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
And they were.
And now you've got the drive time show.
And now I've got the drive time show.
So people at the bare minimum need to, like, you probably have to become a member of the station, right?
Yeah, you do have to be a member of the station, even just to be a volunteer here. And that's, pretty reasonable, not expensive and stuff.
And then you would come in and you would take some kind of training on this equipment.
Yeah, so I just worked with Troy, actually, when I was helping him produce a show about theater that's on Thursdays. I learned all about the board. Here, you'll see the board. It's an oldie, and it has lasted the test of time. It's definitely...
I love this place because this reminds me a lot of our former employer, WCCA TV, Channel 13,
That's right.
where you may be watching this if you're watching this on television. And it's very similar in that there's a lot of stuff which looks like it's from about 1995.
And they don't make it like they used to, so it's a good thing we still have it around.
Seriously durable stuff from like
Super
1995.
durable. Yep. So you can see me obsessively looking at the time, because I want to make sure that our listeners have a really pleasant experience. So
Yes.
looks like we've got, a couple seconds left on this one.
Is this the next one?
Yep.
So do you have a countdown timer somewhere?
I do right here. Yep.
9, 8. Oh, I can't even focus that close. Here we go. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Nicole, get ready. Get ready. Don't screw it up.
Yes, a lot of very important duties we have here in making sure that sounds good. So yeah, I got to hang out with Troy, the director, and he told me the lay of the land. And
So
and that's part of what Sumi's doing is learning. She's been doing this for a month or 2 or 3 now, so getting...
Oh, you're getting all the playlists and stuff figured out here. Because this is all on your website, right?
It is, yes. This is on our website, and also this is how bands who we play get royalties for what we're playing. So we actually keep tabs on who we're playing, and sometimes record labels will look and see what different stations are playing and send them promos based on what's what. And
So people come down here, if they have a show, they would come down here like once a week, and for half an hour or an hour or 2 hours or whatever, they would sit down, they would play iTunes, maybe play CDs.
Yeah, there's CDs. Got the archaic tape player that I may be the only one who uses.
Cassettes. People can play cassettes.
That's right.
That's a good concept for a show. All cassette music.
Ooh, yeah, it's all about the
Lo-fi.
concept show. A lot of like searching in my iTunes, like, okay, what theme can I go on this week? And this doesn't have a theme, but the theme is that Mike's here, and I'm excited he's here.
So,
There's also record players and a really extensive iTunes library. The librarians here have done a really good job of ingesting a lot of the new music that comes in and making it available on demand. Yeah. And I'd love to show you the library, too, if you want to see that.
where is it? Do we have time?
Yeah, we do. So we'll be right back,
Let's
Sumi.
try to race.
Okay.
This is such an exciting show.
Yes.
If we screw up anything on this show, all of Worcester's drivers will know.
So here's the library. This is one of my favorite places here. There are a ton of CDs, as you can see. We've got the jazz section. We've got the blues section. We've got a lot of blues shows here, Friday night, etc. A lot of local blues musicians will do benefits for the station and things like this. Got your rock section, got your library in progress.
CJ Chenier, some serious Zydeco happening here.
There you go.
Pink, great album.
Yep.
First Pink album.
And then here's the lightless record library. It makes great television.
This is to keep the records from being damaged by light, right?
Yes.
Right?
Archive quality.
Wait a second, Nicole. Where are you taking me? Wait, this isn't a library? Ah!
Wait, yes it is.
Oh, okay. It is.
So, any record that was put out between 1972 and 1987.
Record picked at random. Factual. I don't even know what this is.
What year did that come out, Mike? That's what everyone's dying to know.
1984.
1984 design. There's some good ones. There's a lot of old punk rock compilations from the 80s that Brian Goslow and whoever else was doing punk rock in the 80s had.
Electric ELO.
Oh, yeah. Electric Light Orchestra, yeah.
Sure.
Ooh, Kingfish. Yeah, so tons of stuff. It's all volunteer effort that make it happen, so...
Are these like old things up here?
They look like it, huh?
This is like old. Can we take these down? No? Okay, fine. I just know there's just like Gilbert and Sullivan up there,
grab one
Brahms.
from the top if you can. Should be in a museum, but...
I want to see if these are made of lacquer or vinyl.
Oh my god. I think lacquer. What do you think, Mike?
It's pretty brittle sounding. I don't really know.
Columbia. Oh, gosh.
Here.
And there's a lot of reel-to-reel stuff. And part of how... So I, heard this station on the radio, and my friend Pat Moriarty, who has been volunteering here for a very long time...
He has like multiple shows.
He does, yeah. He has a Celtic show, and he also has a folk show that he does. So he brought me around here and got me involved, and I'm not sure what I was going to say other than that. Oh, I would know what it was. He has this vision someday of taking all of these really rare recordings of local musicians and other touring acts that came through and are on reel-to-reel and digitizing them. So
that's a nice idea.
Yeah.
That's a nice idea.
So, yeah, a lot of possibility here.
This is wonderful. My 17-year-old self's head would have exploded coming into this building. In fact, my head is kind of exploding still.
Yeah, we get the production studio there. How's it going?
There was no dead air, right?
No
Good,
dead air.
good deal. Good deal. Is it possible for people to call in? Are people going to prank call this show?
call in.
Do you have the ability to patch people in?
I do. It's risky business, but if somebody who sounded like they weren't going to tell me what my mama should do called, I would gladly bring them
Maybe
through.
they have good advice, some good practical advice for
There
your
could
mother.
be.
They could say your mother should treasure you as a member of her family. I don't know.
Oh, this song was really good.
So you've been on, this show has been on now for 9 months?
8 or 9 months, yep.
What have your favorite memories been?
There are a lot of good memories. I've had a lot of really fun guests. That's been my exceptionally most amazing experience.
You had Bruce the Snow Ghost Russell.
I had
on
Bruce
as
the
a
Snow
guest.
Ghost Russell, who we're going to play a little bit later today.
That's about 3 guests right there. Having him on the show.
All in one. Got to hear about the UK in the 60s. That was pretty cool. Metal.
Shout out to the Snow Ghost.
And I've had my pal Fernanda come on a couple times, who played live music, and that was really fun. I had a group come. I took the bus, which I don't ever usually do because I own a car and the buses takes a lot longer to get around and is sometimes confusing, though getting better. So I took the bus because it was snowing, and I was rushing down here, and I had these guests who came all the way from Acton to talk about in the snow. Put me to shame. And I was like running late and huffing and puffing, and there's another woman who produces the show here who let them in and started talking with them and found out that they had tons of things in common. They were here to talk about an initiative to get a addition to the Constitution of the state to make corporations not be considered people, and they just got to chatting and had a really nice time and had a great conversation with them. So I think the interview parts are my favorite. Yeah. Last week I had 2 weeks ago I had dear friend Jen Bird on, and that was really fun. Just like kindred spirit extraordinaire. Like, you brought the same CD I brought. Like,
No way.
yeah.
That's awesome.
It was. So, yeah, a lot of fun doing that. So that and meeting people. There've been, there's some really cool people who are involved here.
This is one thing that I've found doing, shoestring community media, is it just gives you this excuse to meet a lot of people. And like, you just meet people anyway, just living your life, being out in Worcester, doing things. But there's just this extra level of like random connections that you're making. Because the kind of people you're going to be meeting through your couple hours a week on the radio are going to be people that you probably wouldn't have met if you weren't doing it.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've got Russ, who I don't think you guys saw him, but he does a show after mine, and he, is a really knowledgeable guy in regards to bluegrass, and that's what his show's about. So he does 2 hours of bluegrass, and turns out he used to live in the same building as Bruce the Snow Ghost Russell, so we had all kinds of things to talk about.
Holy smokes.
I know, right? So yeah, met that guy. Sumi, a couple other interesting folks. A lot of other interesting folks, I should say. So yeah, it's definitely like a spin the wheel, who are you going to meet?
What?
And, you sort of have this like common denominator of an interest in the community that isn't necessarily true elsewhere, and this sort of weird nerddom in some ways of appreciation for music and
Just being excited about Worcester, I feel like is actually kind of a nerddom right there. It's an odd thing that some people are very, very interested in. And I think through this kind of thing, you meet the people who are excited about some aspect of Worcester.
So we're going to go on, Mike.
Okay.
We're going to go on.
Go ahead.
So why don't you put your headphones on, and we'll talk a little bit, okay? You're fine.
Okay.
All right. You're listening to 91.3 WCUW in Worcester, online at wcuw.org. If you guys have a request or want to call in, feel free. The number here is 508-753-2284. And maybe just briefly do a little bit of a hello to my friend Mike, who's here on the air.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Mike. So
I love these microphones. Everything sounds so much more resonant.
yeah, really professional. These are top notch, for sure. So while I'm here with you, radio audience, we're also filming an episode of Mike's show, 508, a show about Worcester.
which is on WCCA Channel 13, cable access in Worcester.
I feel like this is a really beautiful thing that's happening. The radio and the TV community style meeting here tonight on a Tuesday. So what's your show about, Mike, for those who might not be aware of it?
It's a show. It originally started as a podcast, meaning it was just audio and it was just available for download on the internet to people's iPods or what have you. We started doing this show, a long time ago, 2007, 2008, sometime 2006, sometime around in there. And I think it was originally a show that we had because we felt like there were perspectives on current events in Worcester that weren't getting out there. You know, the media ecology of Worcester is probably a little smaller than it should be for a city this size, and so you'll read the Telegram or you'll listen to the other radio stations and you'll get some perspectives, but you certainly are not going to get every perspective. This is not to slight them and say they do a bad job, just that there's a limited amount of bandwidth in those media. And so we just started doing other stuff. And then at some point we started doing it for television too. And we use a very small portable camera, so we can do odd, strange shows like this show that we're doing here. Or we did a show a couple weeks ago about a community library moving from one building to another. We're just sort of able to ride along with the books. So sometimes it's a little bit of a documentary show. Sometimes it's a little bit of a political punditry show. If you're watching TV, it's on 7 p.m. Channel 13 on Friday, and it's all over the internet. You can just Google it. And some of the episodes are great, and some of the episodes are terrible. We have a small but devoted following, and feel very blessed to have them.
Hear, hear. Yeah, I know for some time I lived out of the city, and it was really nice to be able to stay in touch with what was going on in depth. And
yes, we used to, this was back before the In-City Times had a website, so we used to occasionally read articles from the In-City Times on the show so that Nicole could listen to them when she was living out of town.
Bless your heart, Mike. Bless your heart. So yeah, Mike's gonna stay with us till 7 or so. So we will play another couple songs and talk more about the station on the TV show here, and come back with you to talk about some of the other efforts Mike's involved with here in Worcester, and maybe we'll tell some jokes. Hard to say. So thanks, Mike, and stay tuned. Next up, we are going to play. Let's see. Hold on one sec. Oh, okay. We're gonna play "In the City" by The Jam. Enjoy.
Thanks. Thanks for being volunteer camera person. It's so nice using professional equipment, Nicole. I don't use professional equipment hardly at all anymore. I totally forgot about this.
The radio, or?
Yeah, just in general.
Yeah. All right. So I need to play a promo. I wonder what the promo will be of.
Wait, there's what is a promo? Tell me about this part of the process.
Yeah. So it's I don't know a lot about the particulars, but I do know enough to tell you a little bit about it. So there are a number of important promotions that we do during our shows.
Mm-hmm.
Those involve things from underwriters, because we have some community businesses that support the mission of the nonprofit, and then also public service announcements about things that might be going on. So if you have an event you want to promote, you could record a public service announcement here at the station or send one in, mm-hmm. and we'll put it on the air.
Which one are we picking here?
Well, I am looking for the one for today, so I think it's probably going to be Joe's Albums or something like this, one of our underwriters. So
okay.
Yeah, I'm going to improvise.
So is this written on the sheet?
It is, but it's not updated, so.
Oh.
It's a very small, there's only one paid person for this entire station, so it's pretty incredible the amount of stuff that happens.
That is impressive.
Yeah, for sure. There's like 100 and something volunteers, so.
Oh, check it out.
VU? What does it stand for?
I never knew. Velvet Underground, I assume.
Hey. Yep. We got our potentiometers and
the pots, you mean?
The pots. Yep, you got it.
This is so cool.
Yeah. So it'd be great to talk with. To see if Sumi, do you want to talk at all about your experience on the radio, or?
I've been here for 3 months, and okay. I've edited and produced and put sound under Christina's show, Things of Interest.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a really interesting experience working here, and I've learned a lot about the soundboards and the equipment, and one day hoping to start my own show with my friends, so.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's cool that people can learn to do this stuff. It's sort of
Yeah.
it's sort of unclear to me, like, where else would you learn how to do, like, professional radio stuff if not at a radio station?
Yeah. It's fun, it's interesting here, it's very, like, old school, I feel like I, like, stepped into, like, the 80s.
I know what you mean. Comfortable, very
I mean,
comfortable.
I play a lot of music from the 80s, but this place is pretty modern. Just kidding.
Well, Nicole, thanks for inviting us into the studio.
Yeah, thanks for coming. I'm really glad to be a part of it and to show you around. And yeah, really glad that this place exists. You know, it's really special.
And
Special thing.
If people are curious, how do they find out more about WCW?
A beautiful WCUW.org website is probably the best way. Or there are also events that happen periodically here. So we have a front space where we do concerts sometimes, and also just like open houses and record sales. And
Could they call that number up there for Troy Tyree? Is that a good number to call for getting involved?
let's see. I think it's 753 10.
There's a number. There's a,
So many questions.
oh, we don't need to worry about it.
Yeah, there are a
WCW.
lot of numbers.
WCW.org.
WCUW.org. That's the best.
And you can get involved and you can have a radio show and it'll be awesome.
That's right.
You and your friends can get on here and hang out and play records. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks.
Bye!
This has been 508 Show About Worcester. I'm Mike Benedetti. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting community media in Worcester, Massachusetts. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.